The waiver wire has processed for week 5, and players have been dropped, and they have been dropped in mass quantities. Some players should not be on the waiver wire. Some players are lottery tickets that are sitting there now that we can cash in on, and some of these players should be picked up in our leagues, and we're getting a free pickup as we go into week 5. And I'm scouring the numbers, scouring waivers, and we're looking at some prospects here. I found one for you guys today, and he might be available in some leagues, or he's rostered, who knows. But looking at the numbers, he could be available, and it's Rashee Rice of the Chiefs, rookie wide receiver. He's had his moments this year, but it's been an up and down season. But we have some numbers we got to look at, because it is kind of encouraging right now as we get deeper into the NFL season. Today we're going to look at the news, the facts, the data, the advanced metrics, and everything else to see whether or not you need them. You need to pick them up or not. That's what we're doing. That's our job here today. But what you do need to do is click that subscribe button right now. Give it a tap with the finger on your phone. Click it with the mouse. Whatever you got to do, you got to stop missing out on these deep dives, because we cover the advanced metrics. We look at the long term. We look at the short term. And we try to give you the information so you can make the best decision for your fantasy team. We also help you set those lineups and everything else to help you win your league. But let's look at Rashee Rice right now. First week of the season, 11 fantasy points, 5 targets and a touchdown. Started off great, then it got slow, and then against the Bears, 10 fantasy points on 7 targets and 5 catches for 59 yards. He's getting volume, and it looks like it's up and down. But he only had one game with less than 5 targets in it, which is pretty good considering how the targets are distributed in his offense as it's spread around a lot. It's hard to pick which wide receiver you want in this offense from week to week. It could be a Sky Moore game, could be a Travis Kelce game. He should be having a lot of games actually because of his target share. Could be a Rice game, could be somebody else. But still, you're seeing some volume here for a rookie. He's only played 4 games into his career. Second-round draft pick from a G5 school. So this is something to be very encouraged about. And he's available in a lot of leagues, depending on where you're at and who you're playing with. In Sleeper, 47% of leagues. A lot of those are Dynasty. He's rostered in almost all Dynasty leagues unless it's a very, very shallow league. So really, those numbers are skewed a little bit. When you look at ESPN, they got him at 16.7% roster rate, 5% on NFL. I have a hard time believing those are real. I feel like he should be rostered in more leagues than that. Let me know in the comments. I have a hard time believing that. I feel like he should be on a roster in 12-team leagues. But maybe I'm wrong here. Maybe my feelings are off here and I'm too much in the dynasty realm. But I do see him being a hot potato with the waiver wire due to the recent production trends. But he is on the Chiefs. He has a good schedule going forward. He's got Patrick Mahomes. He's flashed a little bit. So he's a lottery ticket that gave you a little bit of something. And we got upside here with the offensive scheme, with a ramp-up period at the back end, middle end of the season. So that's something to look forward to. He's averaging 4.8 targets per game, 13.3% target share. That's not very encouraging. But that's the highest target share out of all the wide receivers in the offense. Second highest on the team next to Travis Kelce. He's running 14 routes per game, but has the highest target share right now compared to all the wide receivers. We got Kadarius Toney there. We have some things there that can really manipulate this data. That's one thing we can talk about, but he is a rookie. We could be seeing an increased workload as we get deeper into the season. He's averaging 8.2 points per game. So he's averaging 14 routes per game, but averaging 8.2 fantasy points per game with 2 double-digit fantasy performances. That means he's being very efficient at scoring compared to how much he's on the field, getting targets with how much he's on the field. That kind of screams like, hey, get this guy on the field a little bit more. Get this guy a little bit more opportunities. I know you guys are spreading it around a little bit, but something's going to pop here. Something's going to emerge. Can we wait long enough? Is this going to be a thing later in the season, or this is going to be a 2024 thing? But we have some indicators here because he's doing something here with just a little bit of workload, just a little bit of opportunity. And he's carving out opportunities in that opportunity with the targets there and a 13.3% target share. So still, Not grandiose numbers, but when you zoom out and think about it a little bit, there's some good things to look at. And then looking at his college data here, very productive in his last season there at SMU, 1,300 yards and 10 touchdowns. A lot of people were talking him up this time last year as he was making play after play after play, highlight after highlight. 3.05 yards per route ran, 11.2 average depth of target, which is a lot higher compared to what we're seeing from him now. He can be used more as more like a boundary deep threat guy in one-on-one situations at the catch point, contested catches, just winning at the top point there, maybe more in the end zone there when things are contested and it's congested and tight. But he's got some ball skills, some sticky hands. He's a very solid wide receiver from that standpoint with that skill set, which is different from some of the other wide receivers who are getting reps on the team right now. And we look at him, good draft capital here. He was drafted in the second round, 6 foot, 200 pounds. He's got that draft capital where there's a good chance that he does something at the NFL level. There's a good chance that he provides some fantasy relevancy throughout his career, some kind of fantasy production. We don't know to what extent, but he is in an offense that could buoy him a little bit. He does have some opportunities here early in his career. All good indicators right now. He's only 4 games into his collegiate career, and he's flashed a little bit. Now looking at the athletic specs here, 4.51 40-yard dash, solid burst score. Everything's more than good enough to get the job done at the NFL level. Production metrics at the bottom, 33.2% college target share. That was elite. Good breakout age. Not awesome, not terrible, but good. 32.9% dominator rating. We know that he was solid in college at the G5 level at SMU. We know that we have the athletic specs. It's hitting good enough. We got the offense to buoy him. So everything's trending in a good way here. The Chiefs are running 70 plays per game, 40 pass plays per game. They're tied 9th best in the NFL, or 9th most pass games per game in the NFL. And then there was no lie when I was saying it. When you look at target share, Rice leads all the receivers. Travis Kelce has a higher target share, but he's leading Sky Moore. Kadarius Toney, he's got the injury woes. Maybe that increases over time. We're getting that ramp up period. We're only 4 games in. He could be eating some target share, but nonetheless, he's a rookie wide receiver, 2nd round pick. We're already getting targets. We're already getting opportunity. The thing about this offense is Patrick Mahomes is the Bill Belichick of quarterbacks. When I say Bill Belichick, think about over the years when you do not know which running back you could start on the Patriots. Over time, that was such a headache. Patrick Mahomes creates a headache with these wide receivers as he spreads it around. You even get Justin Watson games from time to time. That's what we're seeing with these guys. That was my take earlier in the offseason, earlier in the season as well, and it's continuing to be a fact here. But the thing is, you have a young wide receiver prospect, 140 yards on the year and a touchdown, and we're getting some workload. The ADOT is very, very low, and as we've seen from college, it can be a lot higher because he's a good boundary wide receiver. Get him downfield, let him fight for the one-on-one. That's something they could do in some moments as we get later on into the schedule, as these matchups start to get a little juicy. And he's only 4 games into his career, so there's a ramp-up period right now. As he's already flashing, it could get better over time. And the metrics here saying, hey, they like him in this offense. He's a key component in this offense. He can be used in the red zone. He can get opportunities, and that could increase, and that could make him a huge lottery ticket going forward. And looking at the schedule, it is juicy. It is great. You got Minnesota. Denver could be a slower game, but we know teams can hang points on Denver, so that could be a juicy one. We got the Chargers, Denver again, Miami. That should be a major shootout. We got some opportunities here where they got to use the wide receivers. They got to spread it around. There's going to be some firepower games. This also goes hand in hand with the other wide receivers like Sky Moore, Kadarius Toney, whoever's running routes in this offense. But looking at Rice, cheap price tag, it looks like in some of these leagues, as he's free off waivers. And now you don't have to put fab on him because he got released into the wild and you can pick him up. And we got some matchups here. We got Buffalo later in the year. We got the Raiders. We have some opportunity here where he could be scoring some fantasy points. He is a rookie from a smaller program, and there's a ramp-up time. There's a developmental period, and this is going to be a good time to see if he steps it up. And if he's on the back end of your roster, you got a guy to play the matchups with. Not saying he's going to go bonkers. I'm saying he's going to be a lottery ticket that you may want to explore, because we're looking at all these other lottery tickets here, and we're looking at these rookies. He's a rookie in a great situation that got released and is free on a lot of waiver wires, and you could be looking at him. So you need him for a stash play. He's on the Chiefs. You want all stash plays on the Chiefs because they are the Chiefs. They're an explosive offense, and that's the bottom line to that one. And then you don't need them because you can't fit them. You're sick of it. You don't want to play the matchups with these wide receivers. You can't trust these wide receivers because you don't know who Patrick Mahomes is going to throw the ball to. That is my original take on this team. When I talk about Sky Moore, when I talk about Rice, I still say that you probably need a piece of this offense because you don't know how it's going to break loose over time, because that could potentially happen, or it could stay like this, stay ugly. But you also need to have some lottery tickets, some gambles throughout the year. If you're gambling on the Chiefs, I don't think that's going to be a bad bet. Rashee Rice can get you into that gamble where you have a little bit of stability there, because you know you're going to get some splash weeks off and on throughout the season, and it's not going to be a total face planner on you, so you can play the matchups with down the line. And he's also free. He's free right now. You don't have to put fab on him if he got released onto the wild, because it looks like that's happened in a lot of leagues, because we're seeing a decrease in his roster rate. But let me know in the comments if he's available in your league. Let me know if you're looking to pick him up. Let me know what you think. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on the way out. Catch you on the next video.